Kevin Stefanski feels like his job may be on the line.
Entire offensive line that Shedeur had last year that Shedeur just had in this game is gone. My bad for not showing y'all that. So that entire offensive line Shedeur had yesterday.
Concern myself with outside type of things. But I'm committed to his development, just like all of our rookies. So we'll continue to focus on getting our guys better. And that's what we'll stay committed to, and that's what's important to me.
Breaking news out of Cleveland. The entire offensive line that protected Shedeur Sanders in the last preseason game has been cut, with the spotlight burning hotter than ever. Head coach Kevin Stefanski is now being forced to explain why Sanders looked so bad on the field. But is Stefanski actually taking accountability, or is he crumbling under pressure? We're breaking down exactly how this shocking move happened and what it really means for the Browns moving forward. The Cleveland fan base is furious, blaming Sanders' struggles on a weak offensive line and Stefanski's poor coaching decisions. Now, in a desperate response, the Browns have released the very players who were supposed to protect their young QB. But instead of fixing the problem, this has only made the heat on Stefanski even worse. Fans are calling for his head, and reports say Stefanski is already starting to show cracks under the pressure. The question is simple: how long before the Browns finally pull the plug on him? According to team insider TJ Houshmandzadeh, the mishandling of Shedeur Sanders could very well cost Stefanski his job in Cleveland. And by the looks of it, that possibility is no longer just speculation. It's becoming more real by the day. There's no official word yet, but the storm clouds are getting darker, and Stefanski's time as head coach looks shakier than ever.
Kevin Stefanski feels like his job may be on the line.
Coach Stefanski is clearly cracking under the heat, and it's obvious the Browns have hit a breaking point. In his latest explanation, Stefanski's shaky voice gave away just how real the pressure is. He tried to spin his decision by saying Snoop Huntley was brought in during the final 2 minutes to get some work. But let's be real, Huntley was nothing more than an emergency signing, a quick fix because of injuries. He was never part of the real plan, and the odds of him making the roster are slim to none. Still, Stefanski yanked Shedeur out and handed Huntley the reps. That move and the nervous tone in his voice make it crystal clear. He's rattled, and this entire situation is spinning out of control.
And did you, I'm sure you kind of answered this last night, but why didn't you keep him in for the 2 minute, or why did you decide to take him out?
Yeah, nothing more than decided to give Snoop some work at the end of the game.
TJ Houshmandzadeh, a former Browns player, didn't hold back when blasting Kevin Stefanski's treatment of Shedeur Sanders. He flat out said that in all his years around the team, he's never seen a coach act so uninterested in a young player's success, hinting that Stefanski might even have a personal problem with Shedeur. According to TJ, the bias is obvious, and if that's true, the pressure on the Browns to fire Stefanski is only going to explode. All eyes are now on the coach, and both fans and insiders are demanding accountability. Stefanski's body language is giving him away. He looks like a man who knows his job is on the line. TJ didn't stop there. He reminded everyone that this isn't the first time Shedeur has been treated unfairly. In the first preseason game, Shedeur played lights out but got zero recognition or praise from Stefanski. Now, after the most recent mess, Stefanski is flipping the script, trying to dump the blame on Shedeur as if the coaches were right all along and Sanders was the problem. TJ even went as far as saying it looks like Shedeur was being set up to fail from day one.
Played well the first game. He was so off-putting, like, oh yeah, well, we'll see what happens next. Like, he played great, man. He exceeded our expectations. He didn't say none of that. And
Right.
so to me, it's as if they want him to fail so they can justify doing what they want to do.
TJ's analysis couldn't be more on point. Stefanski's bias was visible from the very first preseason game. Even though Shedeur Sanders delivered an eye-catching performance that had everyone talking, Stefanski brushed it off. Instead of giving Shedeur credit, he hid behind vague comments about developing all the quarterbacks, completely ignoring the fact that Shedeur was the clear standout. From that moment, it was obvious Stefanski wasn't truly invested in Sanders' success, and his actions spoke louder than his words. Now, the tables have turned, and all the pressure is sitting on Stefanski. It's becoming clear he was trying to shove Shedeur out of Cleveland. But the irony is brutal. It's Stefanski who now finds himself fighting for survival. The same coach who refused to back his young QB and unfairly threw criticism his way is suddenly changing his tune, claiming he'll focus on developing Sanders after all. That kind of U-turn is a dead giveaway. Stefanski is panicking under fan pressure and scrambling to save face. The once confident coach now looks like a man desperate to undo the mess he created.
Concern myself with outside type of things. But I'm committed to his development, just like all of our rookies. So we'll continue to focus on getting our guys better. And that's what we'll stay committed to, and that's what's important to me.
It's not just the fans ripping into Stefanski. Journalists and analysts are piling on too, turning up the heat on the coach. Jocelyn Anderson weighed in, pointing out that by putting Shedeur Sanders in with offensive players who weren't even roster-worthy, Stefanski basically set him up to fail. Anderson made it clear that the lineup was so weak, even a quarterback as legendary as Tom Brady would have struggled under those conditions.
What, COVID year, so it gave everybody an extra year if you wanted it.
Understandable. But listen, it's
what the chat say? The chat believe he took a shot or no?
Let me look in the chat. I ain't even open my phone. Hold on.
Chad Okosinko also warned that soon the Browns' paid critics would start labeling Shedeur Sanders a bust, dismissing him as nothing more than a fifth-string quarterback. But he stressed that the real story, that Kevin Stefanski threw Shedeur into a setup destined for failure, would likely get buried. Despite the backlash, Okosinko suggested this all looks like a calculated strategy to tear Shedeur down. It's becoming more obvious that some people care more about destroying Sanders' image than acknowledging the real reasons behind his struggles. And while Okosinko was right about Shedeur being set up to fail, he didn't account for just how much backlash Stefanski and the Browns would face. Fans aren't letting this slide. They're calling Stefanski out for what looks like bias against Sanders, and the demand for his firing is only getting louder. The pressure is suffocating, and it's becoming harder for the Browns to sweep it under the rug. Change feels inevitable as the heat rises on their head coach. The Cleveland Browns are clearly reacting to the storm around Shedeur's treatment. With fans and analysts blasting Stefanski's decision-making, the team has already started cutting players just to make it look like Sanders never had a fair shot to begin with. The organization is under fire not just from the public, but from insiders like Okosinko, who pointed out how Stefanski left Sanders hanging with a weak offensive line and little support. Even though Stefanski once acted indifferent to Shedeur's potential, it's obvious now that he's scrambling to protect himself and rewrite the narrative. His sudden claim that he's focused on developing Sanders is nothing but a sign of desperation. Fans want accountability, and the Browns are making moves just to look like they're listening. But the real question is whether these changes will convince anyone that Shedeur wasn't the problem, or if they'll just be seen as a desperate cover-up for a mess that was mishandled from the start. Either way, the spotlight is locked on Stefanski, and whatever the Browns do next could decide Shedeur's entire future in Cleveland. At the end of the day, it's clear the Cleveland Browns and Kevin Stefanski are under fire like never before. The way Shedeur Sanders has been treated doesn't look like fair coaching. It looks like a setup. Fans see it, analysts see it, and now the whole NFL world is watching. The big question is simple. Was Stefanski trying to push Sanders out, or is he just in over his head? Either way, the pressure is boiling over, and his job may be on the line. What do you think? Is Stefanski sabotaging Shedeur Sanders, or just proving he's not the right man for the job? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next update in this explosive story.